Well, welcome back, guys, to Skygrid with Boomer here on a Fanatic MC server. Wanted to, it's been a few days, a lot of changes have done, and I wanted to give you guys an update on where we're at. What you're seeing behind me is actually not version 1, not version 2, but version 3 of my Slimefun factory. Well, a very small part of it. You see, I kept looking at this thing going, man, there's so much stuff. How can I organize it and make it efficient so I can get the stuff quickly while I'm crafting it? The ultimate goal is to make everything that can be auto-crafted in Slimefun be auto-crafted. And we've made a lot of progress in the last 72 hours. I'll tell you. Before I get to that, though, I do want to give you an update on where we're at with the base. And we are at the top of the base. However, I am going to take us just down to a version outside of here, or a home that I have outside of this, to oops, I don't have a home there. Try that one. There we go. All right. So that's up top there. And again, I haven't really done anything down here the last few days. Most everything's been devoted to Slimefun, to getting not only the ability to make stuff quickly, because if you've ever played Slimefun or Sky Factory, these kind of grindy things can really take a long time to get going. And that's one of the things I've realized is that this has really taken a long time to get going. And so let me get back up here. Got to take that down. But so I've done very little grid clearing in the last 4 or 5 days, probably 3 or 4 rows of the 200 wide, and that's about it. Just to give you an update where we are in the base, it is 100% protected at 1,000 by 1,000. Almost 40% of that, it was 1 million blocks, about 40% of that is now platformed. And we've grid cleared about 4.9% of it. So we have a long way to go on a grid clearing. But the first thing I wanted to do, I was trying to find different ways to get this organized. And this is what I finally came up with. So they're all alphabetical. It's a little bit higher than I want it to be in some cases, but I kind of settled for this because inside of this building is a big help. See, I have all my dust here at the bottom. And so what will happen is as one of these gets emptied, I can break the shulker box, push the button, another one gets kicked up. Same thing here. So hey, I've got ingots of iron nuggets. I push the button. I can take them all out, craft them, break the shulker box, put up another one. In the tight space I worked with, I didn't go full bore and have it auto-detect when the shulker is empty. Yes, it probably could have been done. I chose not to. Simple fact that it's not like I'm going through a whole ton of them. And it'd have been a nice convenience. And maybe down the road when we have more time and it's a little bit nicer thing. But I chose to leave it for now. We got the Uranium factory also up and running. So in here is the auto shulker loading system. I know it's a little bit hard to see considering how compact it is. We got the network nodes in here. This is a system that, if you guys know who Il Mango is, I've used from his shulker loading videos that he's done. I believe this was a one designed for 1.14. It works perfectly fine. The only challenges I've ever had is when it breaks on the half slab, it doesn't always go straight down into the hopper. I did have one shulker so far that I stayed in here overnight and ended up on my inventory. So I'm going to come through and I'm going to place a couple of blocks to force it to go into that. So no matter what, it can't go left, right. It can go forward because of the hopper right here in front of it, but I don't want it going left and right. So you can see I've got all the different ingots in here, backup shulker boxes. The network's all connected. And then this is the beast I've been working on. This has been almost of a pride and joy in a bit of a pet peeve project too, because I've redone it so many times. Now I currently have this disabled. I redid the stone gen. Let's start over here. Initially, this was a 4 minion cobblestone farm, and then I upped it to a 16. But it was so much bigger. And I decided I wanted to compact this, and a couple people on Skyblock, I saw this and well, this made perfect sense. It was a way to make it much more compact, so that's what I've done. Believe it or not, there's only 6 water sources to make 16 cobblestone farms. All 16 of these minions can run at once. I have a feeder villager that I can set on top of either one of those source blocks. It will stay up in midair. The water won't touch it. It'll feed all 16, but for now, it's off. I went through. We've got our the ore grinders are all set up. What did I just see here? Up somehow some sand got. Oh, I know why. Okay, I know why sand got in there. I got the system off for a while, and while it still had power, everything backed up a little bit. Then we've got the gold pans. We now have 10 of them running full speed. We now have the dust washers. There's only 5. So in other words, we're now loading this chest twice as fast. Now the other reason it stopped is I have an insane amount of clay in like 6 other double chests, plus everything that's backed up in here. So even if I did start the farm back up, nothing's going anywhere until I clear out this backlog. And it's backlogged simply because I've spent so much time trying to automate farms. So what I did is I cleaned this up, got it nice and even over here. That is the input chest for Cobblestone. So I could, supposedly I could put that in there, that's fine. And then what I did is I started my uranium farm with the very first gold pan. And again, it goes to back-to-back ore grinders. And then it's going to go to the wash. Oh, sorry, it's going to go to the washer, to another ore grinder, and then to 2 automated crafting tables. The one takes these tiny little uraniums, makes it into a small chunk. These take a small chunk and make it into a normal size uranium that you would use for blistering ingots, and that you have to wear a hazmat suit for, otherwise you do start taking radical damage. Over here is the terracotta, the clay farm. Not only is it cooked all backed up, I can't even get all of it smelted, and all 5 of these double chests are totally packed. So I think one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to up this probably to about 10 to 12 double chests and craft it a little bit less frequently, but I almost going to update the furnaces, and I'm going to put on probably 2 carbon auto furnaces. They can smelt 20 times faster than a vanilla furnace. You talk about power. One fan on the Hermitcraft server did a really cool, interesting, awesome mass smelter. It was like 198 furnaces, and it was just insane. Any of these carbon auto furnaces are just as fast. And the cool thing is the fuel usage is like next to nothing. I burn like 1 or 2 coal to go through a whole shulker's worth of terracotta. So it definitely is very fuel efficient. So I'll clean that out sometime tonight, get that all cleaned up. The back of this, I haven't decorated it yet. I'm still working on it, and eventually this will be sealed. There's going to be most likely dark oak stairs at the top and the bottom, kind of give it a little bit nice look to it. And I might put a few more blocks on the outside just to decorate it a little bit, make it look a little nicer. But what I want to show you guys is the 100% fully automated, partially complete, because I only have 4 of the plants that you can have. The exotic garden plants in Slimefun. I only have 4 of them running right now. I'm going to have at least the 8 ores running, meaning gold. If they're not gold, I'm going to have iron, redstone, coal, lapis, diamond, emerald, quartz, and then the iron nuggets, I think. But there's one more that I'd have to go back and look through the list. So let's look through it here. Which ones were they? There's my Slimefun guy. So let's go to the electric press. And all right, so it'll do quartz, it'll do iron. If I had gold nuggets, it would craft them for them automatically. Coal, iron ingots, and then again, black dust, so those blocks are going to mention the redstone, the lapis, diamonds, and emeralds. So we got everything covered. So here's how this works in a nutshell. I have to set this up. I'm actually going to have wither skeleton or regular, probably wither skeleton spawners below my shop, which is directly below this. So anytime somebody visits the warp, the spawners will run, and then either myself can AFK up here or down a little bit lower to let them run, or maybe one of my kids can help out once in a while. But we're going to have the bones automatically teleport in here. And it looks like it's been running so far and so fast that I am currently the bones. I have 4 electric crucibles. Whoops. I am out of bone meal, so this is going to run out quick. And I got 4 ore grinders. So let's talk about these. Ore grinders, let's put this up in a Slimefun guide to make this a little bit easier for you. Okay, so the ore grinder will take bone and give you 4 bone meal, whereas vanilla crafting only gives you 3. So we have the bones going into here. All right, crafts it, gives me 4 bone meal, all 4 of these. Then it transfers it up to these chests. Chest filters down through these hoppers into the dispenser. I have a redstone clock on the other end running all 4. So right now you can see we're harvesting on this one redstone. On the second one is iron. Third one is quartz. And the fourth one over there is diamonds. Now, bone meal from a dispenser normally doesn't break the plant. We had to do, I'm going to say, 8 hours of crafting by the time we got everything done. We had to make androids. Not only regular androids, but programmable androids, which is an android, normal one, then a programmable, then you have to make it a farmer. It runs on lava as its fuel source. Well, guess what? We have an automatic crucible. It takes lava, buckets, or plain buckets and cobble. 16 cobble, 1 bucket gives you a bucket of lava. Now, there is one thing I can do. I can actually recycle the flint back in the cobblestone as well. At this point, I don't have that set up. That would just make the farm a little bit more efficient. But given the status of the minions and how long cobble lasts for over here, I'm not too concerned yet, but I'm probably going to do that at some point. The lava automatically teleports up into the android's interface for fuel. And then when it's done running its cycle, it's going to put its items in here. Now, it doesn't automatically start. You actually have to program these babies. So we're going to go into the memory core, and I'm going to edit the script. You have edit, you have create, download a script from the website, which I haven't looked at, or you can go back. So to look at the script, this is all steps this Android takes in a non-stop. So what it's doing, first, let's see, what is that? 46 attempts. It will try to break that block right there. Oh, I stopped it. Okay, by looking at it, I stopped it. I have to restart it. So we'll go back into the core. So 46 times, it's going to try to break the plant underneath it and make sure it's replanted to make sure it doesn't go away. In this case, it'll break the essence off the plant. The plant stays there. Really cool. And then on number 47, I think it is, it's going to turn right. So for it, facing this way, it'll turn right, pull some fuel. Now, if it doesn't have a lava bucket here, it will pull one in. If it does, it simply doesn't have another spot to bring it in, so it'll leave it alone. Then when it's done, it's going to turn over to right again to the interface, drop the items off, and then start that 46 more times. Now you're asking, does it go 46 times before it runs out of fuel? And the answer is no. Lava buckets only last for 5 minutes, but it completes those 46 attempts in less than 5 minutes. So every single time it checks to see if it has a bucket. So if it doesn't have one, it grabs one. The next time through, it'll probably still have that bucket there after it does its 46 attempts. One more try, then it's going to need another one, so it grabs another one. Well, then you say, okay, great. Let's start this back up. Okay. It's going to dump the essence that it's mining and then the empty buckets in here. So we've got one of those network nodes to pull the redstone and the buckets out. The buckets find their way back into the crucible. This is critical that they get back in the crucibles, and there's a certain number of buckets in every crucible. Coffee. So while I've got all 4 of these crucibles, they're pretty full of buckets, and the goal was there's the potential to have 18 lava buckets sitting in the Android compartment fuel cell, plus 2 in each crucible. So there's really 26 lava buckets available. If by some chance the round robin picked on one and it kept pulling all the other ones but one, or it pulled all the lava but never dumped a bucket back into it, the worst that could happen if I keep 13 in each one is that they would drop down to 1. That's what I figured. So no matter what, I believe with 13 or more, and it is round robin, so it will always be random. So no matter what, a bucket comes out of lava, another one gets made to replace it. There'll always be 2 in here. So in theory, and this has been running for a while, and I haven't seen anything up below, I think 11 or 12 was the lowest. Yeah, see, that one's already at 16. So with this one at 16, let's say that one fills up at 16, another at 16, another at 16, it'll still always be enough. Now, something happened here. This is one of those random things where I may have to go back and update this to go a little bit higher. See, I thought 13 when I did the math was going to be sufficient. We just saw one of them went out. So that makes me wonder, do I truly have round robins on, not just for the exit? Oh, I know why. I bet you I don't have the round robins on here. I don't. So now it was going to the first available one. By putting these all on round robin, in other words, rotate. Look, that one was on, so that was okay. All right, so 2 of the 4 weren't on, silly me. So now that they're all on, that should not happen again. By not having the round robins on, you saw what just happened. Oh man, I tell you, I love that coffee. That's an espresso coffee. I am not always a big Starbucks fan when I drink coffee there, but some of their specialty coffees are really good. All right, so let's move on. After the Android kicks all that stuff into here, it gets teleported, the buckets go back, and the essence comes over here. And it's going to be teleported into this output node. And this is an advanced output node because remember I pulled out the buckets and the essence, and I want the buckets coming here. So on the same channel, number 1, the buckets go back to the crucible, the essence comes in here. This is a automatic crafting chamber which will only craft Slimefun items, so don't think you can use it to craft normal items. What you do to start with is nothing in here, and this will be a gunpowder or sulfur, depending on how you want to look at it. You would put, oops, and I got to pull all these out. All right, you take 9 of them, or sorry, 8, and you're going to draw the pattern. So what that'll happen is every time 8 diamonds essence get in here with 1 in each spot, it will craft diamonds. So let's just go around the horn here. So diamonds get created, and they get teleported right here to the electric press. Now I have 3. For every 9 diamonds, as you know, you get a diamond block. Once that gets a diamond block, this input node pulls those diamond blocks out, and they go, essentially, well, they go up to that chest up there, and then they come down, and they work their way into the shulker box. In other words, over time, we essentially have unlimited diamonds, we have unlimited quartz, we have unlimited iron blocks, and we have unlimited redstone. We can get slime, ender pearls, copper, gold dust. There's 13 Slimefun exotic garden plants. Now, I'm not planning on setting up all 13 right now. I'm going to set up probably the 7 or 8 most critical. Even though glowstone does not get auto-crafted in here, nor can it get crafted in a press, I still go through glowstone and put a lot of people, and I wouldn't include glowstone in the shop. So that'll be one of them. Now, that essentially is the entire system. As these shulker boxes fill, they'll break and they'll go down into the chest. The guys on Skyblock, as you guys know, most Skyblocks have an ore generator. So some of these guys, I got to see somebody who helped me understand what the press was for, because I was a little confused how they had it 100% automated and I couldn't figure it out. When I'm thinking auto crafting, I'm looking for something with auto or craft in the name. Press makes me think you're squeezing something out of it, not putting something together the way this is. So the Slimefun didn't choose a great verbiage with the word press. The fact that it's in there, not a problem. We got it figured out. But the guys with Skyblock, some of them are running 150, 200 minion cobblestone generators, and they have 4 or 8 times this auto sorting system. In other words, on Skyblock, unfortunately, it became one of the things that we really wanted to avoid on the server. It became an OP moneymaker. Some of the guys' balances are approaching $1 billion on the server already, and I think it's way out of control. And we're 6 weeks into the reset. So unfortunately, the one thing that always bugged us on Grid is now happening on Skyblock this quick. And I don't know, I get there's a lot of things that had to go into it, but it might have been a little bit more thinking, a little bit more testing. Maybe they need to put a limit on the number of minions you can have on Skyblock. Maybe they can put, limits in how many generators. I don't know what fans got options for. Clearly, it's OP and already out of control. So stuff on this server that might sell for $5 grand probably sells for 150 to $250,000 on Skyblock. So when I start working over there down the road, I'm going to have to adapt a lot to the currency. But they've been working pretty hard to figure a lot of that stuff out and have a lot of fun. And the nice thing about Skyblock, you can have a lot of fun. And that more to me, Skyblock's more about really creative building because you've got nothing to work with to start. So you have to get creative, and all that's fine and dandy, and I get island top and all that. That's not why I play Skyblock. I want to play Skyblock because it is a hard challenge, and I really enjoy it, and I want to see those things, those types of builds. We've got some outstanding and amazing builders on Skyblock, and at some point we'll do a world tutorial just to show you some of that. So this is what I have been working on over the last few days, is getting this all set up. I finished this about an hour ago. So that will run. So as far as I'm concerned, this part of the side for now, because I have so much crafting to put that together, I'm taking a break from the other floor. I'm going to come back and do them at some point. One of the things I did go through is I mapped out through the Slimefun guide in an Excel spreadsheet how to craft, all these ingots, all 26 of them, I think there are. 25. And then also some of the other things, the magnets, the electromagnets, the motors, the coil. What I want to do, because this dust factory is so OP, I mean, in one night of AFKing, I think I got 45 shulkers of dust. So I shut the farm off for now. One, I need to get a better control on it. The nice thing about it is if, let's say, I use an iron dust and copper dust, are probably the two you're going to use the most. I only may have 3 shulkers of this stuff left. I might have 5 of this left, but I might have, 7 or 8 of the tin lying around. Eventually, what's going to happen is it's going to get really misbalanced, and the system is going to come lopsided, and one of them will back up. And like you saw in the clay double chest back there, one of these has the ability to backlog that other bin. When that happens, the Slimefun factory will eventually come to a halt. And so I have the ability with the output nodes to actually move those into the trash can should they become a nuisance and I have too much. So then what I might do at some point is I may shut them all off except for copper and iron and let them run for like a week and get 40 to 50 shulkers worth. And then just shut the farm off until there comes a true need for it. Actually, I think just about every single crafting recipe to get all these ingots involves at least 1 iron and 1 copper dot. Some of them are multiple of each. And then a gold for the 24 karat gold ingots, you need 11 gold dust just to make one of those. So you're going to go through a lot of gold. You're going to go through a fair amount of aluminum. Lead is mostly, it's used a little bit, but not a ton. Magnesium, I've encountered almost nothing so far, but I haven't crafted everything. For silver, I do use a little bit, but it's pretty much, kind of like the lead. Tin does have a couple of recipes, and zinc is mainly for batteries, so I do use a little bit more. Just to give you an idea, I did look up Slimefun, and there was a anticipated breakdown. Sorry, guys, I thought I just got trolled by a staff member. I thought I may have just got hit. There's a breakdown in the Slimefun wiki of what the dust should settle out as. However, it really isn't working that way. It's nowhere near. It's much more even than what the breakdown is. So that could be an older breakdown. It could have been somebody did right. I could go through and take everything after 4 or 5 days of AFKing and then figure out the percentages. But it didn't work the way I thought it was going to. So we did finish the front of this building off with a little bit of a nice roof. We're going to go ahead and we're going to put I'm going to look at it, but I'm probably dark oak stairs in between the buttons all the way across. We're most likely going to continue this pattern across the top of the roof. And then I'm going to look and see if I want the dark oak stairs all the way around or not. And then I'm going to work on this, kind of clean this up, expand it, make it a little bit more user-friendly. I don't necessarily like these being stacked because it's a little bit busy in here on top of it. So we're going to keep working on trying to get that a little bit more friendly layout. The challenge I was looking at is the power. Power can go up to 5 blocks away, so I don't want to have to use 3 of these to lay out power, but I do want to space it apart. So maybe I'll go, 3 of the ingot factories and 3 of the smelteries on each side with a crafting table on each one and an output chest. But I'm going to play around with this for a little bit, and then I'll get that going. So another thing that I don't know if I've ever talked about this on a server or not. Whoops, sorry guys. I want to come back here to the first person. Right now you can see it's dark out. I don't have my helmet on. Everybody in my understanding on a server has it. If you go /FB on, I'm sorry, NB, no, I didn't want hang on, let's try this again. FB on and off is getting rid of the board on the side. NV stands for night vision. If I go NV on, ready? Night vision, it's now daytime. Well, not completely daytime, but you do have the ability to see things as if it were day. If I go night vision off, guys back. My understanding is that every player, regardless of whether you have rank or not, is eligible for that. So that'd be one thing I wanted to pass along. But I'm going to tell you guys at this point, I was going to look at a couple of the Craftbook plugins options that were there, and I looked up about 5 or 6 that I thought were really cool. A lot of them aren't enabled because they do have the ability to be manipulated and cause a lot of redstone lag on the server, so I understand why they're not. And so I didn't want to just start randomly showing and playing around with things and to, I didn't want to do that on camera. I want to be able to speak intelligently about some of those things. So we're going to bypass that. The other thing I am going to work on is, now that I know how to work the network, I'm going to go back and change the storage for the spawn eggs, because we have the ability now to sort those out with the nodes, and we can sort 9 per advanced output node. There's 54 or 56 eggs, whatever it is, so I'll probably have 7 chests of 8 just to play it safe. I'll be able to have those go automatically into the chest, and you can lay them out so they go in certain spots so they're nice and neat in alphabetical order. So that's something else we're going to work on as well. And maybe we'll have that done by the next episode. But I think tonight's going to be some grid clearing. Yeah, grid clearing, right? I want to try to get these last 2 done, and then I want to definitely get going on the outside, get some more of the base actually started, because there's so much you still haven't seen. The challenge is, not so much grid clearing to do. I might work on it clearing just enough so I can at least lay things in place so you can see what they're going to look like. Because the one thing I really want to show off is going to be the hourglasses. I spent weeks working on those things. They are fantastic, and I can't wait to show you. For now, guys, I think we're going to call it an episode. I really hope you enjoyed the episode, and if so, give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, first of all, thank you for coming. And secondly, if you would, subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when I have another video coming out. But as you know, when you're on grid, guys, you have to go boomer or you got to go home. We'll see you later.